The last thing I expected to see that Friday evening was my boyfriend stepping out of a hotel with another woman. For a split second, my mind refused to accept what my eyes were seeing. My heart pounded so hard that I could barely hear the traffic around me. I stood frozen across the street, watching them laugh together as if the rest of the world didn't exist. I wanted to believe there had to be an explanation. Maybe she was a coworker. Maybe it was a business meeting. Maybe I had misunderstood everything. Then he reached for her hand. It wasn't a friendly gesture. It wasn't accidental. It was natural, comfortable, and familiar, the kind of touch people share when they think no one is watching. My stomach dropped. Just 2 hours earlier, he had texted me saying he was staying late at work to finish an important project. He even apologized for canceling our dinner plans, promising we'd make up for it over the weekend. I had smiled when I read the message because I trusted him completely. Now that trust felt like it was disappearing one painful second at a time. I stayed hidden behind a nearby coffee shop window, afraid that if he saw me, whatever was happening would disappear before I understood it. I wasn't ready to confront him. Not yet. Something deep inside me told me to wait. The woman smiled at him, and he smiled back in a way I hadn't seen for weeks. It wasn't just the smile that hurt. It was how comfortable they looked together. As they walked toward the parking lot, I noticed something else. She handed him a small envelope. He looked around carefully before slipping it into the inside pocket of his jacket. My breathing stopped. Why would someone secretly exchange an envelope in a parking lot that if someone had asked me a year ago whether I believed in soulmates, I would have smiled without hesitation and said yes. Back then, I thought I had already found mine. His name was Ethan, and from the moment we met, everything seemed effortless. We first crossed paths at a neighborhood charity fundraiser where neither of us had planned to stay very long. I had volunteered to help organize the event, while he was there because a friend had convinced him to attend. We ended up standing beside each other in the refreshment line, laughing about how badly the coffee tasted. It was such a simple conversation, yet it felt strangely natural, as if we had known each other for years. That evening turned into hours of talking. We discussed our favorite books, childhood memories, places we wanted to visit, and the lives we hoped to build one day. By the time the event ended, we had exchanged phone numbers, and neither of us wanted the conversation to stop. Our first official date happened a week later at a small Italian restaurant downtown. There was nothing extravagant about it, but I remember thinking it was perfect. Ethan had an easy smile that made everyone around him feel comfortable. He listened carefully whenever I spoke, remembered the smallest details, and always found a way to make me laugh. As the months passed, our relationship grew stronger. Weekend road trips became our favorite tradition. Sometimes we drove for hours with no destination in mind, singing along to old songs on the radio and stopping whenever we found a beautiful view. Other weekends were quieter. We'd cook dinner together, argue playfully over which movie to watch, and end the night planning adventures we hoped to take someday. We dreamed about visiting Italy together. We wanted to walk through the streets of Rome, watch the sunset over the canals in Venice, and spend a week exploring the countryside of Tuscany. Every time we talked about the future, it felt less like a fantasy and more like a promise. Our families adored us as a couple. Whenever there was a birthday, holiday, or family gathering, someone would eventually joke that we should just pick a wedding date already. Ethan's mother treated me like family from the very beginning, while my parents always said they had never seen me so genuinely happy. Our friends were convinced we were the perfect couple. If anyone needed relationship advice, somehow they ended up asking us. We rarely argued in public, supported each other's careers, and always celebrated